Soft Power Universe. Yes, we're here, the season finale of Moon Day Grounding. My name is Siobhan Duras. We got the other founding mothers of Church of Soft Power, Flo, Midori, Dr. Kiki with a little guest star. And we are here today to do our usual check-in. I know we already see in the chat some questions of finale, all of that. We're just taking a little beat for the season. We've got Midori going on retreat. We have our amazing creative producer resting / in the chat and just receiving and enjoying today. So we just, here are always acclimating to seasons and tempos. And with the shift in the winter, we're feeling a little shift in maybe what we want to share and how we want to share. So we don't know, no promises of date and everything when we'll be back, but I'm going to pass it to Dr. Kiki to ring us in.
Good morning, everyone. It's so great to start the week with y'all. It's been so intense. The energy has just been feeling like a lot, and there's a lot of transformation and change occurring, and just a lot of heavy current events and news that is coming at us. And so just really leaning into the grounding aspect of today's call. So releasing through any sounds truly that help you feel like you can release anything that might be in the body. So whether that's more moaning or groaning, I'll be doing the vowel sound that is associated with the chakra vocal toning system that we use in Soft Power Choir. And so we'll do that 3 times, and inviting you to join along with me, with us over here. The first one in unison to unite our frequencies, and then the second and third, feel free to harmonize or wander or find other sounds that feel supportive to your system, your vessel today. So wherever you're at, taking a moment to just exhale all of your air out so that we can all take a nice, deep, fresh breath in together, sipping through a straw. And we'll do that 2 more times. Mommy. And there we go. You are now tapped into the soft power frequency. Mommy, mom.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Kiki, and our friend there supporting us to harmonize our frequency. So, I have been reading from the Energy Archaeology deck by Ashley Stinson, which has been super powerful, but I cannot find the book. I spent 15 minutes this morning just searching my room.
I do have it, so I can tag team.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'll find it while you pull.
Okay, cool. So we're pulling from this deck today, asking for guidance for our week for the month of April. Siobhan, what's the first number that comes to your head?
22. Oh, sorry, were you counting it? My bad.
18, 22. Okay. So the card is capacity, thoracic spine. All right, I'm tagging on Siobhan to read from the deck, from the book.
Capacity. Okay, first and foremost, inviting just a moment of pause to think of what that word hits for anybody watching. Growing your capacity can feel raw, like opening old wounds to expose tender energy that isn't yet tested or sure of the world around it. So, the element associated with this, according to Ashley, is water. When in balance, it's receptive, emotive, spacious. When out of balance, shallow, unfeeling, and closed. The wisdom, the energy. So, the energy in the thoracic spine is connected to and influenced by all the bones it articulates with. And inviting everyone to move your spine while you listen to this. Begins to illustrate the energetic story of how interconnected and easily influenced it is. A shift in the energy that articulates with the thoracic spine creates a shift in your energetic capacity. Stability in the lumbar spine, which is the lower back, below creates the foundation for building capacity and allowing flow in the thoracic. This in turn impacts your energetic flexibility in the cervical spine, which is towards your neck. Extremely heavy and dense energies in the sternum and shoulder blades reduce the flow of energy in the ribs. They become protected, restricted, and closed off. This reduces capacity at the thoracic spine. Conversely, opening the energy throughout the thorax creates more space for energy to flow in, creating more space for building capacity. So, wisdom here is that our capacity is created through healing and integrating. Releasing energy that's been bound up in the thoracic spine creates space for who you are and who you're growing into. It could feel raw, like opening old wounds to expose tender energy that isn't yet tested or sure of the world around it, but you can trust the softness that is revealed. It's boundaried without being inflexible. It's able to expand but knows its limits. It's able to hold but also to release. You grow your capacity by testing your edges and trusting they're strong enough to hold all that you are and all that's flowing through the energetic channels of your body. So open all the places that were restricted and closed, scour away the hardening, and nurture soft, tender growth. Capacity is nurtured as you nurture yourself and your wholeness. I'm personally resonating with that. It feels like where we're at, even this moment of the finale today. Yeah, like I think that Moon Day grounding has been a capacity building practice for me personally. I don't know about the rest of the team, but there's been a lot of moments where we like really intended a weekly cadence or some kind of like more frequent cadence. And as lunar as we all are, it always, kind of waned eventually. But really big shout out to Thempowered, Nathaniel, the producer, because this like every Monday beat has really built my capacity to show up regularly and to also shed the perfectionism of what I like have to look like or feel like when I do show up. So, Midori, do you have other words on capacity? That's the oracle.
Yeah. The main message, which I'll just go in on my share, has been around like energetic boundaries, but boundaries on all levels, like every, relationships of all kinds. How do we establish boundaries? And that goes into the energetic realm as well, the spiritual realms, as well as like in this material realm. And how are we embodying our values and attuning to them in every season? So, yeah.
Well, maybe we'll pass it to Flo to engage the spine and then we can continue the convo. All right. Passing it to Soul Bloom for a little motion in our ocean.
Thank you, Siobhan. Hi, this is Flo Soul Bloom, and we're going to lotion the motion in our spines. So let's just charge our hands up with our soft power, with our breath, with our intentions for this day, for the week. So breathing into your hands, breathing into your palms, generating heat, generating chi, generating life force. Inviting in audible breath. And we're going to place our hands on our necks. we're going to start with a gentle massage of our neck, massaging the back of our necks, the side of our necks, the front of our necks. This is the cervical spine, so the beginning of the spine from the cranial down. This is where our nervous system starts. So the thoracic spine is our mid-spine, and that is where our heart and lungs are located. So we're going to move into some spinal flexion and extension. So just inviting some fluid, intuitive movement. I'm going to do some seated cat-cows. You can also come into all four positions and just moving your spine intuitively, maybe some hip circles, some spinal circles, connecting with your breath. Inhaling, breathing in through your nose, breathing in your intentions and filling your lungs up, filling your body up with this breath, with spaciousness, with ease, with whatever you're amplifying in your life. Inhale to expand and exhale to let go, releasing out through the mouth. Inviting the audible breath sound. So continue moving your spine in circles or seated cat-cows. Inhale to extend and expand. Exhale to contract and let go. Releasing what no longer serves you, releasing the old. And the last movement exercise that we'll do together is going to be focused on opening up the mid-spine, thoracic spine, the heart. So we're going to take our arms, our wings, right? We're going to place our hands on our head. We're going to close our wings, right? Curve your spine inwards, come into a ball, and then inhale to open up the heart, open up the chest, open up the wings, and look up towards the sky. Exhale to curve around your spine, contract and let go. Breathing into the back of your lungs, back of your heart, and then inhale to open up the wings, open up the heart, open up the thoracic spine. Let's do this 2 more times. Exhale, release, contract, let go. Inhale to open up. You're opening up a book, a new chapter of your life. Last time, exhale, contract around your spine. Come into a ball. And then inhale to open up and expand. Okay, you can release your arms, release your wings, and let's just fly. Imagine you're a bird taking off, or a butterfly, or a dragon, whatever creature with wings. We're flying to the soft power universe. Alrighty, I'm going to pass the mic back to Siobhan, our star host. Thank you.
Thank you. That felt really good. That heart and chest area. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of like standing in the doorway and spreading the wings lately to really like stretch back there. We are really expanding, y'all. Like Kiki kind of already said, like it's been a big moment of expansion and transformation. I know not just for us, but for y'all too. Feel free to let us know in the chat if you're also in this place, because we've been, I think expanding capacity. I'm going to kind of read some of these questions here that Ashley prompts, maybe to just bring us into conversation more on it. But questions here. what does capacity mean to me? What does it feel like to have enough capacity for what I desire? What do I want to accomplish or feel when I have more than enough capacity? And then there's some questions around like overextending, thinking and reflecting on anything in our lives that feel overextended on capacity. Midori's already touched on boundaries. And the final question here is, would it feel better to create more space by growing my capacity or by reducing tasks and expectations? So that feels resonant too. And I feel like it's like a both and for me when I think about capacity lately. Yesterday, I walked through a home that I am applying for and hoping to move into that would make me neighbors with me, Dory. And it's a really big capacity thing on the both and there, because to have my own home as a single mom in the Bay Area has required a lot of like expanding my like belief in myself. And I've talked about that a lot here on Moon Day Grounding. I've been sharing a lot about my living situation in my home on here for a while. And I mean, really, when we started streaming on here, I've been sharing about like basically been live streaming the exit of my marriage for the last few years unintentionally. But yeah, I just am really thinking about what I there was the turning point for me in the past 6 months, and probably while the show has been going too, has been rewriting this story from trying to make myself smaller and fit into what I have, because that is an important piece, that like shedding and like working with what we've got. And I think I'm really proud of that. And there came the point where I had to just really believe and expand into what I like believe myself to be able to hold, and that is my own home, my own like all these things that I honestly was kind of rejecting and resenting the level of responsibility that I have to hold and the capacity, because so many stories in my head were still around like, I shouldn't have had to do this, I didn't sign up for this, I thought I had the promise of a partner in this entire mothering journey. And I was really like resisting and fighting back and like going through my brat phase of not wanting to have capacity for it, until I really had hit this turning point of gratitude for me personally, where I was like, okay, like I'm shifting into like, I'm so grateful I get to hold all of this. I'm so grateful that I can meet all the needs of my son and I. And it's really expanded me in ways that's starting to reflect in my resources, reflecting in my energy in the day to day. And I was really like grieving last week, seeing a lot of the things as this like eclipse season, retrograde season is closing. I was really grieving still a lot of the things that I had let go of, people, relationships, habits. And then yesterday I walked through the house and I said to Midori and Willa coming out, I was like, wow, I was feeling so sad about everything I was letting go of. And then I walked through that house and I was like, worth it, worth it. So I could actually like taste and see finally almost this like invisible goal that I've been like excavating my life for the last like 4 years, 3+ years. And so, yeah, the capacity building process has been grueling, but also really, yeah, fun. And I see in the chat too, like anger too. Yeah, honoring all those feelings. And that's the only thing that made it all possible, was like, yeah, sitting with, yeah, I am pissed off that I married somebody that didn't follow through on promises. I am pissed off that the support that I thought I had didn't really meet me in the ways that I like needed it, and acknowledging that, and then meeting my own needs, and also allowing others to help meet my needs. So that's me on capacity. And I'm wondering if anybody, Kiki, do you want to share while this one's drinking away peacefully?
Yes, hopefully. But also just like wanting to celebrate you and give you your flowers, because as a fellow mother of a human child, all of the things that come with the responsibility of being a mother, and what I have witnessed of you in the that we've been connected, I am just so privileged to watch the strength within you, the inner strength within you, be able to hold the phases of the anger brat phase, and then be able to move into gratitude and to like literally move that energy. That's what we're talking about here, right? In the Church of Soft Power, in our somatic practices, our voice practices, is moving it. And so it's, yes, feeling it and not judging ourselves for that, having a lot of compassion, but continuing to be in just letting ourselves feel those things. And also trying to not harm each other in the process. So I'm going to gently hold on to her feet while I maybe try and share this. Can mommy share a little bit longer? Am I bothering you watching your show right now? Yeah, okay. I might have to share in just a few minutes, but thanks, y'all.
I can share a little bit. Shout out to our friend who is, voicing their needs and desires to be heard. There's so many points that are coming up around capacity that I had already shared a little bit around that. The main message for me as someone who's an Aries in this like very heavy Aries season that we're in and heading into with Saturn and Neptune. Well, Neptune crossing over into Aries, Saturn going to be heading there soon. All the sun and a lot of other planets sitting there is just like spiritual warriorship. And BA Nathaniel is someone who talks about this a lot. And something that I've always identified with is like I feel like specifically this generation of millennials, which is kind of the congregation is a lot of people of all ages, but I think like in terms of the founding team identifying in this generation of being a millennial, is we've been, since our Saturn returns, we've been like put through the gauntlet and like really pushed through this portal of like extreme transformation at a rate that's like really hard to comprehend personally. And looking at myself now, looking at us and being like, yeah, there may be this like externally, they may look like haven't changed a lot, but I can look at our energy and be like, yo, we have shifted so much in a lot of ways. I think just knowing you all so deeply. And the feeling right now is like, yeah, we have to grow our capacity for our spiritual rituals, that they are really real. Like our magic is powerful and actually does have a really, really potent effect on our environments, on our relationships, on the world around us. And the responsibility and accountability to that is so present and what I believe soft power really is about. And that's something that I had mentioned during the church kid dropouts. My church kid dropouts share about what soft power is about. It's like, yeah, it really at the end of the day is when you awaken to your creative power, you're so powerful and magnetic, and that's a process. And when that happens, what is the responsibility of taking sovereignty and power over your life with that knowing? And so that's like that journey that we're all on, I think. And the sovereignty is really what we ground into as a church, here for being lay led and here to really encourage like I said, sovereignty. Like what is your personal value system and beliefs, and how do you move through the world? And then what is the responsibility of being in community and being in relationship with the people around you, with the people you say you're committing to, with the awareness now that land and our relationship to land and being settlers on land, like what does that mean? What does that mean to be in relationship with our histories, ancestors? how do we move in the world where we have so many different like relationships essentially that we need to tend to, and that's all a choice that I have decided to take the responsibility of, and be gentle and kind, because it's like there's only so much that we can do, and so being also so kind to ourselves in the process. So that's really what capacity means for me in this moment, is like, wow, all of this work I've been doing through my Saturn return, coming out of my Saturn return, founding this church, showing up, committing to being seen through the process, and um, being in community and building what I actually think community means, like to me in an 11th house context, in this broader community context, like I am prepared for this moment. Like, and I'm really proud. And like what Siobhan has been saying, like, I feel so grateful to be here. And although the work does not stop, and how intense it honestly always feels, like I have grown my capacity to feel that intensity because of this space, because of all the practices I've learned somatically, because of how I now know how to have boundaries and take care of myself first, and really center my well-being before I'm going out and offering my care to others. Like that's really the lesson of capacity, and where I think I've landed. And I think it just feels so beautiful to be talking about this on this, beginning of Aries season, where we're also taking a break, because it's like, yeah, even though it's in the beginning of spring, like we've been going for a long time, and we can take this break just to like recalibrate, because something new is always going to be brewing, and something is always going to be dying, through this creation birth process. And that's the commitment that I want to make as a team in soft power, is that we're always going to be here to learn and grow together, and have conversations that you're never going to see stagnancy. Like that's the truth. And we will stay committed to the promise, but also leave a lot of room for continual evolution. So, yep, that's my share.
I'm about to be quoting you on that in the new Substack. Flo, do you have any words on capacity you want to share?
Yes. Snaps to that, Mimi. Yeah, I really resonate with a lot of what you shared. And in classic poetry, in classic flow expression, I'm just gonna share what I wrote in a little poetry. First, I'm gonna grab my mic. So, capacity. I was just yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna read, because if I start to think about what I want to say, there's a lot that I want to say. But every time I expand my threshold of visibility of my whole and true self, right, through vulnerability, through honest expression, through sharing my poetry and flowetry, through expressing the erotic and freeing my inner slut, and being embodied in my creative erotic power, right? I feel the parts of me, like my parts of like the parts of me that feel really scared and frightened of stepping into the unknown, right? The inner child in me, the past selves, these parts of me that were shamed and silenced for my expression and using my voice to speak up and disrupt, for desiring and wanting to be in my feminine expression and sensuality, right? By my family, by patriarchy, by cultural shame and repression. And so somatically, when I expand and I get to be seen in my wholeness, I instinctively want to retreat and hide right afterwards. I want to like go back into my cave and hermit mode and be nonverbal and not talk to anyone for a few days. But I know that it's in my soul's path to break this pattern, this generational ancestral pattern, and to grow in that expansion, to grow in that stretch, to in that reach of stepping into my potential. And so, and then I observe this behavior of like the frequent urge to want to close all of my accounts, delete posts, you know, and I know that this is my past, like past self or parts of me that's wanting to protect me and from being judged of like how I was judged and not accepted by my family, by my mother and brother. But these are past experiences, past emotional memories that's sitting in my body. And so I totally agree with what Midori shared about ritual practices, spiritual creative practices being seen through our imperfections and embodiment of transmuting, for me, for transmuting fears into courage, into joy, into creation, into power. So, yeah, I feel like for me right now, expanding my capacity really starts with my breath. Like every time I inhale, every time I take a breath, I expand with my new story that I'm telling myself. I expand with my intentions that I'm amplifying in my life. I expand my power and the divine force that wants to flow through me. But, I'm clearing the blockages with my breath. And every time I exhale, I release the blockages. I release the old traumas, the old pain, the old emotional memories. And so, yeah, the internal reset is where it's at. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you for your flowetry. Wow. I love you. I really want to echo what Midori said, that like the four of us specifically here, we've been gathering for at least 4 years now and witnessing each other's energy shift. It's so subtle because we like interact almost daily. But sometimes it's just these moments where I think I'm able to like zoom out and see us all objectively. I'm like, dang, like, yeah, just the way like flow, just really celebrating like you and Midori both actually like brought in when I met you this big story around your voice and speaking, and hearing you two just like so eloquently just channel and synthesize and like your words. I just, I've been saying that for years. It's just like y'all are poets, y'all are speakers to me. But I just want to name that and celebrate that. Because it's been such, I feel like I'm in season finale mode. I told this to the team before, like, how in a lot of sitcoms the finale would be like they're having a little conversation, but then they're cutting back to like other episodes in the season, like this little journey. And I feel like that's what's like flashing through my mind right now. So I have a question, a fill in the blank for the team, and you don't have to elaborate immediately. I kind of just want to hear our words. I want to see what people say, but founding soft power, it's a fill in the blank. So founding soft power has expanded my capacity for blank. I have I have a couple answers, but I'm wondering if anyone feels inspired, has a gut reaction response to that. Anyone? Okay, well, I'll start. Kiki, go.
The first things that popped in my mind is soft power has expanded my capacity for joy, silliness, and orgasms. Erotic powered.
Mic drop. Midori.
Founding soft power has expanded my capacity for releasing control and building trust. Really expanding my capacity for building trust and like yeah, I had to get there, you know? I had to get there. Just Pearls looks around, begins clapping. Dr. Kinky, is that you in there? No, it's my share, I think.
Hello, do you have one?
Yeah. Founding soft power has expanded my capacity to receive love. Period.
Yes. Okay, I have two. And the last one's good because it can bring a little last closing, well, not closing yet, but convo. But one, founding soft power has expanded my capacity for rest. Definitely relating to everything else y'all shared. And then the last one, actually, curveball, but soft power has expanded my capacity for conflict. That is one that really feels on my heart as I hear like a big celebration of what I've gained and expanded. But like this nervous system titrating, it's really been like a aerobics for my nervous system to speak up amongst y'all. So for those who don't know, like we have team meetings all the time where we've been like running through a million versions of what soft power is, and it really feels like as founding mothers, we've like birthed this thing together and we're still getting to know it. Like it really is like parenting. Like we get to know our children the older they get and can communicate for themselves, and that is really how it feels with soft power. Is like the more we go, the more I'm able to like hear what soft power wants and like advocate. And in the beginning, we all had different connections and different like understandings, that ability to like feel nerve, like same in the line of control of that Midori mentioned, like to speak what's on my heart and to trust that y'all are safe to be dysregulated around, to sometimes get reactive around. Like we've had moments where we've triggered each other and had to work through knots of conversation and really root into the knowing and reassurance that like we're here for each other, we're not abandoning each other because of a disagreement, and that this like really is probably the healthiest, most honest love that I've been able to receive and participate in, that's always remained in respect. And I really want to like shout out nervous system education for all of it too. And I've been studying hypnosis for the last 6 months, and also just like affirming how much intuitively, like Flo talking about like repatterning through the breath, and to see that match with like neuroscience, that our nervous system just wants to keep us safe. It wants to keep us safe. And I remember last year, Yadi, shout out to one of our consultants, Yadi, who came in last year and was like, y'all love each other so much and you are like so scared of losing your friends that you're not keeping it real enough. And she called us out and was like, yeah, we were all like kind of like being so tender about what we wanted, what we thought, our feedback for one another, because we didn't want to lose the friendship that could come from ending a collaboration. And we got to shout out Willa, our 5th founding mother, who we navigated this tension with and this acknowledgement of an ending in a way that I'm so proud of. And I know that was like just really difficult on different levels for different people, because we hold it so precious and we love each other so much. So that is what my capacity for navigating conflict and for doing it with love and respect has really, really expanded. And I feel like it's truly transformed my life and made me able to relate with my family, with my parents better, with my co-parent. Yeah, all of it. So I don't know if anyone has thoughts on there. I feel like Midori has something to say.
Honestly, you summed it up.
Okay, I said it for us.
Plus one to all of that. And yeah, I think that really sums up the vibe. And I just maybe like a little prayers coming through for us to, yeah, while we take a break from this weekly heartbeat of connection with our community, that we remember that the soft power frequency is literally a frequency that you can tap into through our spaces, through connection with each other, through shared agreements of what it means to be in community and what we've crafted in our Zoom sanctuary gatherings. And we have Movement Cafe on Wednesday. Like, we really are committed to showing up consistently. And that doesn't mean burning ourselves out. Like, that's why we have a team of 5, so that I can go off on retreat. Nathaniel BA can go off on retreat, and we're still running gatherings. And so just this prayer that we always remember that when we look in and lean into our interconnectedness, our community, like, that is where the magic is. And if you need support or are struggling, like, encouraging you to join our Village in the Sky. Like, we're not necessarily committing to like saving anyone. Like, we're really deprogramming from that. We're here just to provide these systems for people to connect and share and be witnessed through what they're going through. Because what I've been seeing, what we have been seeing, is that is essentially what people need, is just to know that they're not alone, and feel empowered to make choices when their nervous system is regulated. And that's what we're here to do. It's just to bring regulation to you during these really, really, really challenging times. And so just praying that we all continue to be able to show up in the ways that we can for ourselves, each other, the land, and our ancestors.
Yes. Yeah, that question on there about what are we growing capacity and what are we releasing, I also am so proud of us that coming into the winter, we really scaled back and trusted ourselves with the value of just holding a frequency can be. We've had so many ideas of what we can do because we're all so like, we can do all these things. We're so capable of like running an agency, running like a million media production company, like all these like thoughts and ideas flow through our heads, and maybe they'll all happen over this like long career ahead we have together. And also just this practice this winter of just trusting that our role is to hold a frequency, of leaning into the lay-led aspect of founding a church, where at first we were like, do we all need to become pastors? Like, are we on that? Because we are priestesses in our own personal lives. But I think when it comes to Church of Soft Power, emphasizing that like lay-led, we're here to coordinate, like we're like the facility host. We're just keeping the spaces and tending here. And the intention is always for everybody to be able to share and coordinate that. So it's getting slow on the meetups and you're wanting to meet up with people, plan that on Discord and link up. If you need to use the Zoom room, hit one of us up and we can talk about that. That is where we're growing into, and inviting others to just let tend to your capacity for reaching out for connection. I hear people talk so much about loneliness, and in fact, it's being called an epidemic of loneliness. And it's so real because we are relational beings. Like, we cannot function without relationship with other things, even if it's just like the food from the earth. And so, yeah, making relationships, forming relationships, it takes courage. It takes a little bit of that nervous system, again, aerobics, to be like, okay, I want to connect with you. And also trusting alignment and listening for respecting other people's boundaries and sovereignty when we're not in seasons of connecting more. I'm feeling that. I've been in a deep hermit season and I've been in denial almost about it. And I see how that, like, just soft power is really giving me this place to like fall back in, that I know I can hermit in other social aspects, but this is where I'm really being fed in this social connection. So I just appreciate everybody who's been here joining and supporting and watching us. Something we talk a lot about is how much we can't wait to get others more on the stage, and listen to others more often than we listen to ourselves. But thank you for just tuning into Moon Day Grounding, for tuning into Tapped In, all of these streams that we've been doing over the years. Even if you were really deep cut with us on our Twitch era, you know, we've been experimenting, and it has seen a range of content and topics. So you can catch all that on our channel if you ever want. If you really want to dip into the frequency, you could do that through practices. Movement Cafe's got a playlist on there. You could do that through listening to conversations that we have logged on there. Checking on the Discord for past groups and choir and art alchemy and all these things. And our next gathering, we flow through it in the chat, but we have Movement Cafe this Wednesday. We have, I'm kind of blanking right now, but we got a few things in the next week and lots of things to play back on. So thanks, y'all. Thank you for a beautiful season. Kiki, I would love if you would close us, since I know you got cut off, but I know you got something.
Yeah, just thinking about capacity and connecting to my practice with the voice and what Flo shared about breath. That is it, y'all. It is as simple as taking a moment to just expand our rib cage with a breath, with a song, with vibrations of care and love for our own self-expression. And so I guess I'm feeling called to lean into a song that we sing in our community, and I don't even know what that title is yet. I'm just like feeling called. There's a song. So if anybody has one that you're hearing in your head right now, feel free to say it. But I think Inner Peace is coming to me, if that feels right to y'all. Let me just remember what the words are. Okay, I think we got it. All right, it goes like this, y'all. Please give. Wait, let me do it again.
Please let me feel.
Okay, please let me feel. Please let me feel inner peace from the center of me. Please let me feel inner peace from the center of me.
We'll be clipping that for the
That's how we're
archives as
feeling.
well.
Love y'all.
Love you so much. And that's right. Oh yeah, Full Moon Journey Friday. That's me. Yeah. So we got Movement Cafe. We got Full Moon Journey on Friday. Check out Thempowered and their writing circles and their work and their coaching. Thank you to our creative producer. We love you. Could not do this without you. Thank you to everyone in the audience. And we will see you real soon. Why? Because we love you. Disney will come for me on the copyright, and we'll just have to deal. Bye.